All right, guys. Well, once again, it's Organized Chaos, mounted by Art, Fultz, Gurmy, Merc, and Oasis, going up against the Susquehanna, Soniqs, Avian, Neptune, Goddess, Super, and Ghost. Both teams trying to knock each other out in one map, a best of one, with a spot in the Eastern Conference Stage 1 playoffs on the line.
The trash talk is coming out already as Goddess is calling everybody idiots. Pretty sure.
Did she what? I missed that. Hold on.
It's friendly, so it's okay. But, okay. Thatcher and Capital banned so far on attack. Entirely different than what we saw the first time around, with the exception of Thatcher. But on defense, I expect one of the Echoes, I expect Echo or Maestro to be banned, and there you have it. That's going to be Echo.
Maverick still in play this time, unlike what we saw on the previous map, so those second story walls are still going to be able to be opened and, more importantly, directly pushed by whoever the attacking team is. In this case, the Soniqs, of course, opening up on it. Echo, instead of Maestro, is banned out on the opening defender ban. The second, however, will lead itself into Mira, actually getting knocked out there as well by the guys. I believe it was OC's pick. So we are going to see that be our last operator knocked out. And this will take us into the first round, like I said before, and if you can't see it up on top of the screen there, Soniqs are going to be on the attack, and OC, Organized Chaos, will take defense first.
Banning Mira was pretty much a given when she saw Thatcher go up on the board, because without Thatcher, you're not going to be able to use Habana to go ahead and get rid of, Mira's windows. So that was pretty much a gimme. Echo, on the other hand, his ability to go ahead and stop plants and, mess up the vision of oncoming attackers, he was pretty much given, along with the possibility of Maestro. So, Fultz starting things off on Maestro, Kaid with Art. This is going to be a barn burner.
Vigil into the Jaeger 6 pick as well, bit of an interesting one there. It's not very often I've personally seen Jaeger being 6 pick, so we'll see how well this is able to trip up. More than likely, it's just going to be a matter of one extra nade might get wasted in the surprise of it, but that's assuming they don't actually see this Jaeger beforehand in the droning phase, which they more than likely will. So, usual reinforcements coming out now for OC. Gurmy just going to line up the reinforcements on the tunnel, make sure no easy access is claimed there. And we'll quickly fall back to regroup with the rest of the team.
Kitchen will be extremely important. All eyes are going to be on the roamers that will be guarding the kitchen area, maybe bar. I want to see what Stats is going to do about that. Goddess, the Heartbreaker on his team. She's most likely going to go to Kitchen along with Neptune, who's going to be playing Buck. It's going to be vital to go ahead and open up the hatch, shoot through the floor, and get some vision down in Armory.
The Evil Eyes coming down too, more than likely prioritizing an Overwatch onto the Blue Hall. That's what Fultz, the role that he'll be taking on, which is not much of a surprise considering the roles we saw him take on back in the previous matchup too. Takes on very much kind of a fragging role as well, so leaving him until the last moment on the cameras, and then being able to bring out the big old Alda. And of course, the ACOG that comes with it, the power that brings to the table, certainly going to be something to utilize here for our defending team when push comes to shove. We can see Neptune doing quite a bit of reconstruction, however, giving him Overwatch over 2 different floors. He's going to actually run down here really quickly and try to mess up the bottom of main stairs too, just to try and leave that as an option open. Meanwhile, Avian's going to work his way towards the bar on attacking side, giving himself with a decent amount.
The roam play.
He's got to be very careful with the positioning here, just obviously because of the Kaid charge that's been put on top of this, so it is possible to break through this, but this is the other power that we didn't actually talk about since Kaid wasn't banned out, is that these hatches now become a huge pain in the butt to get past. You, for the most part, aren't going to be able to get past them with your standard breach charge. You pretty much have to use a Maverick in order to pop them open.
Looking in the blue, it's going to be Ghost on Zofia. Taking a look at the outline, you see one player is going to be straight to his right if he happens to go down the stairs. It's a long hallway you're going to have to be cognizant of, because if you get caught out in the open in the gunfight, there's going to be no cover to hide behind. But Neptune's utilizing these skeleton keys to make sure that he opens up all the floor to where they can look below him. They're trying to trap OC as much as possible. Their own play is pretty much non-existent. They're just waiting for the push to come.
I believe that final skeleton key shot, he's actually out of ammo for it now. If I was reading it correctly, it was 5 shots since we switched away from him, so he will no longer have access to the skeleton key. But he's done quite a bit of reconstruction, as we talked about before, so not going to be too much of an issue. It looks like our attackers do lose a drone to the mute jammer on the way in here, though. Neptune just going to try to chuck a nade in and deal with that real quickly. And then if someone else is a drone in the area, they can then commit to the push. Bit of a punch hole setup here, which Ghost is going to try and utilize. Almost successfully, too. Ghost, in fact, does get the first kill lined up, but it's not long before Fultz shows up with that Alda to trade it right back, bringing us down into a 4v4 with only 27 seconds left for the Susquehanna Soniqs to complete their push.
Oasis utilizing the second gas canisters. Goddess picks up a kill on Art, and Neptune's right behind her with a headshot. Fultz is going down. DEFUSER's dropping. Neptune's getting another head, and that's going to be it. Avian cleans up the last kill on Oasis. Attackers win round one. Avian, nice headshot.
Good amount of control held by OC, to be honest. Just that one little pocket inside of the church that they weren't able to maintain control over. The punch holes that they had set up coming back to bite them. And just at the end, they're losing players like a domino stack. One by one, they all fall to these quick headshot lineups. Mainly coming in, I believe it was from Neptunes that finds the majority of those kills. So props to him. The Soniqs pull it back at the last second with that definitive all-in push. And they claim round number one.
Once again, folks, going to be donning Maestro, and just going to change that out for Valkyrie. Okay, you like that. CCTV and cash room will be your plant sites. So let's see how they're going to go ahead and attack it. I want to see heavy garage play. You're going to see players come up around the blue area, and let's see how they take this site. But the setup looks like it's going to be pretty much basic.
Yeah. Good to hide the Valkyrie pickup, though, since we don't see an IQ or anything like that being brought in for the Soniqs, or any type of like Twitch pick or anything like that. So no easy capability to be able to deal with that early on here. They can more than likely use those cameras quite confidently. Obviously, more likely still get droned out, so they'll be watching out for them, but you won't have the easy scan on the IQ just to be able to get rid of them, especially ones that may end up getting chucked out into the open or in more well-hidden positions, which is already used. I'm going to try and use a few of them here. Just try to tuck them away.
I like it. One thing you're going to have to notice is that there's going to be no ACOGs on this defensive side at all. And usually when you play this site, you have somebody with an ACOG in garage to hold that down, and you're not going to have that available to you. You know the Maverick is going to be coming, so you're going to have to be aware of that. Let's see if they have an answer.
So this is what we were talking about before. The bans oftentimes being played around the basement hatches and these walls right here, these outer walls, which thankfully, Maverick is going to be able to get right past those. Easy access to the batteries, and now we can just have a standard hard breach do the rest of the work. But if this fails for some reason, they can bring Maverick back and also try to open that up. He's just going to have to reveal a whole lot more of himself if they'd like to do that. With it being open, this other side is not going to be reinforced, so it'll be much easier for Buck just to pop a hole open outside of the bedroom and gym and allow for Ghost to start the push forward with drone assistance.
That's why Maverick is one of the most valuable attackers here on Clubhouse. There's going to be no straight counter to him other than just killing him. But from an angle, he's going to be able to use that blowtorch to get rid of those bandit charges. It's allowing the easy breach coming from the Thermite, which is going to open things up for attack on Soniqs. So they have the lanes covered. Coming in from construction cash room. It's going to be looked over by Ghost momentarily. He's trying to see if he find ahead, somebody out of place. But taking a look at the outlines of the players, he's not going to find anybody right now.
Not a whole lot being found yet, but look at all the time again that's been wasted here for the Soniqs. They've got a route into the site already open, though, so time isn't necessarily going to be a huge stressor here for the Soniqs, considering that they've already been able to get really good access to the site. It's more the ability to push in and to try and find a way to either drone or fish out the defenders that might be close to that choke point so that they can actually commit to the push without basically guaranteeing themselves the loss of a large majority of their team. The nade may be a big key in doing that, and that's a Kobe and a half right there. Neptune's line one up against Art puts the Soniqs ahead. The first kill being found already 2 minutes into the round.
Neptune's one of the hottest hands on the team so far for Soniqs. Defense, offense, it doesn't matter. He finds heads and he puts them to bed. So Gurmy, see him prone on the stairs, waiting for the right moment to come up, and Avian's able to get a double kill. Ghost getting one on his own. DEFUSER's going down, and attackers once again winning. Soniqs doing everything right at the moment. Pretty much textbook gameplay. They open up all areas, utilizing all their hard breaches to open up walls, and OC had nowhere to hide.
Textbook execute, really, more than anything right there. It had done a great job of just avoiding taking duels against the members of OC overall. I imagine we're hoping to try and find a few of them in the early round, and that was the cause of the hesitation on the execute leading up to that point. So it was a little bit timid of making a push in a full-on 5v5, given how claustrophobic fighting in that site can be sometimes. But still, when push comes to shove and when they are forced into the execute, it's flawless from them. They get every kill going into their favor. 2 to 3 different players winning multiple gunfights, and it's a very, very quick closeout for the Soniqs to now push ahead at 2-0 over OC.
Church in Arsenal Room being the chosen destination sites. And I have to, raise a question. We all know that the Maverick is obviously coming to that site that was played last round over in server. And question, was Kai the better pick to go ahead and make sure that those charges weren't able to blow up that wall? So, think about that moving forward. But Neptune's on top, 3 kills, 0 deaths so far. Huge entry fragging flex player for Soniqs. Hasn't caught off at all so far.
So, got the Soniqs being pushed out onto the board in just a few seconds here. Talking before about the Kaid, once again, that'll become a problem here in the basement. As you'd expect, so the hatches will bring them back in, but unfortunately, without the Maverick ban, all they need is a little bit of time. About a 10 to 15 second period, and they can still very easily get past those and breach it open. The one that's going to run into issues would be Goddess, just trying to put those breaches on the actual hatches themselves. That's not really going to be a possibility, mainly due to the lack of Thatcher.
Goddess right now droning the area along with Avian. Looking through bedroom, not able to see anybody yet, and with the skeleton keys coming out on the balcony. Neptune's going to try to get some intel himself. This is where the round is played pretty slowly. One thing I love about Siege, intel, more important than anything out there. You can't just run in and try to run and gun it. You're going to have to use your brain. So they're trying to find out where the opposition is for OC.
Taking their time with it at that. Are going to do their best to make sure they don't have a jammer sitting behind it. And they are able to isolate that out pretty quickly with the Mavericks. So this will give them access to the second floor to play off of. They can then start working their way down from here. Once more, though, a lot of time being taken just in order to get themselves to the inside. Looks like Neptune's working their way in, but there's still a good hold near the cash room. We've got Fultz in position on the mute, trying to watch for a push from here. Using the SMG-11 for it, too. It's a close-range fight. It'll play well into his favor. Besides this, we've got more sitting behind the wall. They'll pop it open. He's seemingly ready to take the fight. In fact, avoids death on the first encounter, but no, still will fall to Neptune's as Fultz goes down, and the Soniqs take the lead in a 5v4. But again, though, with that very limited amount of time to get to the actual site, which is 2 floors below them.
Patience was his enemy, holding that doorway with his SMG-11. Just waiting for somebody to come on through. They weren't able to get the drones in there due to the mute being placed. But once Buck blew that wall down, it was easy pickings from there on out.
So the upstairs roam is dealt with. Now it's time for Soniqs to make their push. Once again, it's going to be quite a decisive push, too. We can see some players taking some damage on the duel versus Fultz earlier. At minimum, they were able to bring Neptune's down to basically 1 HP. Ghost also taking some hits, too. Gurmy able to escape with a kill at the main stairs. It's traded back quickly by Ghost. Still keeping them at an advantageous position, but now they have to watch their backs. They're a little bit worried. They're not entirely sure of themselves anymore. This is going to cause problems. They might not be able to commit to such a decisive push. All of the remaining roamers for OC are being moved back. They still haven't cleared out all the utilities sitting down here. You've got goo mines potentially strewn all over the place. Neptune's can't walk into those. He will literally die if one of those sticks onto him. The default camera is not being dealt with just yet. The same hole which they used to get access to the site before has been opened once again. Excuse me, that would be from our last game. They used the hatch in the previous round. They're going to try to use that hole we saw used in a previous round, but it's not going to work out. Art and Merc tear the entire push to shreds. And finally, defensive setup from OC comes out on top as they pick up their first round.
Thank God for Legion. That goo mine being stepped on, they gave OC all the intel that they absolutely needed. Once that goo mine was set off, they were able to face all guns towards that direction, and Soniqs had no answer going down that lane. You saw them try to breach through the wall to go ahead and get in the armory, but they were gunned down before they even stepped a foot in there. So OC picking up the very first round. They finally have an answer on the board. Going to CCTV and cash room once again. Let's see if they have an answer for Maverick.
And so once more, as you'd expect, the bottom site will be locked for the following 2 rounds, including this one. So it's back up to CCTV and Cash, where they came once more very close to fending off the Soniqs, only to fall to a last-second execute that worked flawlessly for them. So OC might have some mixed messaging going on. Did we do well in that defense to waste as much time as we did, or did we do badly to fall in the decisive fashion that we ended up doing so. We'll have to see how they adjust for now on their second attempt at it. But the Soniqs keep things relatively the same too.
Well, in this first half, I feel like Soniqs are doing everything absolutely right. I expected Soniqs, their strong point was to be on defense, but the fact that they're able to pick up these rounds on attack against OC, who I personally feel like they're better on attack, I mean, that's setting the stage right now. If they're able to get to the second half and Soniqs, they're well ahead, I don't see OC coming back at all. So now is when they have to make a great impression before we get into halftime. But Kai throwing that electric claw up there near server, making sure the reinforcements are taken care of. They learn from picking up that, from using Bandit there. They're gonna try to delay any type of hard breaches, knowing that Maverick is gonna be on his way.
Maverick on his way indeed. And trying, of course, with the electric claw to find a position where it cannot be so easily shot out. Or just neutralized in general. So they might actually find it better to kind of wait to see exactly how their opponents want to proceed on the attack before they commit to anything. Ghost, of course, going hunting in the window, just a little pre-fire tap, tap, tap here and there, but as you'd expect, doesn't come out with much of it. And in the meantime, the other side, the bedroom wall, is going to be pushed by the Soniqs here too, just to give them access into the building so they can go for that slow push towards construction that they did the first time we saw them play on this site.
You see two players coming in from West Balcony, one of them being Neptune's Buck, using a skeleton keys to open up those soft walls. Making sure he gets free entry for his teammates into that area, but Ghost moving in towards the B site. Shooting down the reinforcement on the window so they know he's there. The intel has been gathered. But I don't think there's anybody on the side.
So I think can be seen, we've got Fultz meanwhile on the bar going hunting with the heartbeat sensor, but isn't able to detect anything either. Not coming up with a whole lot. Once again, Soniqs, we can just assume this to be their playstyle at this point. Running it down to the wire here before we actually see them really try to commit themselves towards the site. They've got the lineup this time. I don't know if they were able to get the wall open by CCTV and Cash Room just yet. Actually work their way back in. They're still focused primarily on bedroom side. There we go. The wall's just been breached into the B site, into the server room. Cash, however, seems to be the prime focus as they've moved most of their players in through the bedroom side. 3, in fact, going to be committing to the push from here. The other 2 still yet to be seen. How they're going to play into this push.
Ghost is one of the most valuable people on the map right now. With Pulse, he's able to gather intel for his teammates, and Ghost is able to get the very first kill on Art, but the trade is going to go through his Oasis. Finishes off Ghost, but still, the Pulse is alive downstairs in bar. Goddess in construction with the thermite charge, trying to open up more lanes for her team to be able to attack the sites. 1 gas canister was used from the smoke, leaving 2 left. The thermite charge going off is going to open up more space for Soniqs to be able to operate to get into the bomb site.
Super looking for a way to push back into the balcony as well. Not leaving it so easy, however, as again, time will become their enemy. 20 seconds left to push their way into the site. Smoke's being preserved until that 20-second marker. Oasis catching Super as he tries to work his way in. Neptune's able to find a trade on the Fultz, but now it's come down even further. 10 seconds, and a 3v2 is what the Soniqs will have left to work with. Avian trades it into a 2v2. We need to see the planet attempt now. Goddess will go for the attempt to bring the diffuser, but it is stopped by Oasis, leaving no time left for their last man alive to clutch it, and OC pick up round 4, tying us up at 2-2.
How unfortunate. Goddess going for the plant. Her teammate was in garage trying to wallbang, trying to open up some sites to protect his teammate, but coming from the right, Goddess, she gets taken out quickly. Time ran out. Now we're looking at 2-2. Soniqs starting to find a little fight now from OC.
And obviously the guys from OC having to rotate around this map more and more. They're going to head over to Gym Bedroom. The last of the 3 sites we'll see them play before they end up heading back to the basement after closing it out just 1 round back. The 6th pick into the sneaking Nomad there from Super, so we'll see how they're able to leverage that as it's gone unused up until this point. But besides that, again, the lineup looking relatively similar to what we've seen in the past, potentially sans the sledge.
With experience coming from Soniqs, with few players that actually played the USN Finals last year. When I say finals, that championship game, they played LAN back in December. They have the experience needed to go ahead and take care of teams such as OC. But OC, one of the best up-and-coming teams out there. See them in another tournament gameplay. They're giving Soniqs one hell of a fight right now. 2-2, tied up. But Fultz, utilizing Valkyrie, he's going to be able to gather a lot of intel along with Gurmy, using those Legion Mines, going to be able to slow down Soniqs momentarily. See where they're coming from.
Setup phase completing here now for OC. So Soniqs again back out onto the board, and the big problem for them has been getting map control early enough in the round to justify their push into the site. It seems pretty much fair to say at this point that they're willing to continue to let the clock roll down to 30 seconds or less before they even commit to their execute. But the problem was the first two rounds, they seem to always have a path into the site or a greater plan to play into these rounds. But the last two encounters haven't seemed so much like that, most notably the last round, but they really struggled to clear out the defensive setup from OC inside of CCTV and Cash Room, causing them to force the execute at the end, got us to get picked off at an attempted defuse plant that they weren't ready to go for, and thusly them to lose the round. This time though, they get their opening frag far earlier on, with Merc being found out on the Jaeger way early on here and being dropped as a result of that, giving Soniqs an edge up.
Once more, Goddess and Avian on West Balcony. Yeah, both of your hard breaches there, Maverick and Thermite. That open things up to get into the bomb site, which is going to be relatively close. See the castle barricades. They're going to be up. But burning ADSs. It's going to go ahead and make things a little bit easier for pushes in case you want to throw a few flashbangs or whatnot. But Art currently going down from gunfire. Are they going to be able to clean them up?
Trying to fiddle through their cameras right now, it seems. Art seems like he gets himself back into the fight, a minimum, or stays alive here to play into it further. 25 HP. Not down and out just yet. Tune's going to try to go for a quick chuck nade to the inside here too. And we can see already Soniqs trying to change things up, trying to force the issue here at the southern windows far earlier on into the round. Avian also on a push towards the hallway right now, but it's very timid between both of these teams. Neither one wanting to take a risk to push into the other just yet. Some of the last of the lifeline charges potentially being used up there by Ghost. In the meanwhile, still a very passive overall position being taken for them. As they've reached the edge of the site, they've got their path in. Now it's a matter of finding those 1 or 2 entry kills to give them the confidence to continue this push into the site and go for the plant.
The grenade currently cooking. They're waiting for a push. Here you go. Avian pushing through. Ghoulmine sticking right to his foot and pre-firing down the hall. He's going to go ahead and get a kill. Ghost getting killed as well. 4 versus 1. That fast, folks. The last man alive. Valkyrie, you hear the Ghoulmines going off. It's a very unlikely situation as the diffuser starts to go down, and in the bedroom hallway, Ghost is going to find him, picking up that kill. Soniqs extending their round count.
And it's again the case of Soniqs going for the SWAT style execute, where everyone's just pushing in at the same time, because again, they don't really have any other options since their time is so limited at that point. They slowly look for ways to pick and prod, and we're seeing that for the longest time out on the balcony, them trying to look for a route back in, but ultimately once again it came down to them making the push to the inside, and it was their players that make the impact happen. Ghost, along with the others, commit themselves to the inside into the push, and they immediately just wipe the floor with OC's defensive setup on the inside of bedroom and gym, leaving their last man alive in a very much unwinnable situation. A 1v3 where he had to work his way up the main stairs into the basically sandwich position right outside of the bedroom. No hope for him to clutch that out. So that closes out a full rotation of the sites. Regardless, for OC unlocks the basement, where they are going to head for their final round on defense. A chance for Soniqs to solidify their lead now at 4-2, and an opportunity for OC to keep it competitive at a potential 3-3 tie.
I just love Avian's commitment to execution. 5 kills, 1 death so far. He's obviously believing in his gun skill, being the first in his team to go ahead and be the entry fragger. He does exactly that, getting the first kill. Next thing you know, Ghost picks up a few, and hey, round goes straight to Soniqs. Up 3-2 so far. One more round before they go on defense, something that they're extremely comfortable doing. But folks, donning Maestro, putting the evil eye down in blue. OC, they're going to have to bring the heat. You're going to be able to go into halftime, tying the score against Soniqs. You're going to have a pretty good chance. We all know what their strong point is. With the action phase now over, another evil eye. Seems like folks wants to, yeah, he's going to go ahead and place it in church right by the jukebox.
We already saw one relatively straightforward push from Soniqs down the memorial hatch. where this Black Eye is going to be able to potentially prevent a play like that, of course, if the Sonics themselves aren't able to deal with it. But it's a slow lead up for them. The Sonics, again, starting things off as you'd expect, just taking some time together. Intel, there was a decent amount of roaming presence established for OC the last time they played into the basement. A lot of it focalized on the second story. So they're going to make sure they take a good amount of time to clear that out once more. And it was the thing that ultimately delayed them too far into the last basement play, which gave it over to OC at the end of the day. This time, it's not as prevalent. You do have, you can see, Merc just outside of the basement stairs, the back stairs here, the supply stairs, the blue stairs that leads down into the basement. But he's pretty much immediately going to give up his spot on the stairs after firing his first volley, due to the fact that window behind him could be problematic. He isn't able to catch the flank in time, so he does give it up, opening the wing for players like Ghost to make a push, which, here we go, he's going to make his way in. He finds the first kill. He doesn't realize, however, he's got a second player sitting directly below him. Eli, of course, supporting this push the whole time. Ghost going to take out the two ADSs sitting here. Not that they're really needed at this point. He sees the Evil Eye downstairs, but he hasn't realized Mark. It doesn't matter, though. Ghost still gets the better of it, and quickly will use the lifeline to get rid of the Black Eye down the hole. Blue Stairs is open for business now, and Soniqs are the new owner.
Ghost is unmatched so far. The man went absolutely off, jumping in there, getting a kill on a player that he wasn't even expecting down in blue. Then he was able to pick up the second kill to open things up for Soniqs. So being up 5v3. See if the defense can hold up for organized chaos. But you're going to have to give credit where credit is due. Goddess and the rest of the droning really opened things up for Soniqs, and Neptune's getting another headshot. 5v2.
OC faced with an unfamiliar situation where the majority of their team is wiped out so early in the round. Easy plant this time for the guys on OC. Ghost is picked off by Art. This weapon can seriously do some damage as well. Although we haven't seen, of course, used too much just yet, as it has been placed in the situation all too often. It is one of the newest operators in the pool, but a 1v5 is maybe asking a tad too much. Super from down the hall, just outside of the main stairs, finishes things off with the Soniqs, and they do indeed solidify that advantage at the end of the half now with a 4-2 lead over OC.
Giving him all of the respect in the world. They planted in church and pretty much backed up and just held a lane and said, hey, we're not going to throw. We're going to make you come to us, okay? They don't want to give up any clutch opportunities. And Soniqs, they're smiling right now. You're up 4-2. Now you're on defense. Now you can be able to utilize what works well for your strong points. And there you have it. Goddess, Maestro, Ghost on Legion, and Avian picking Castle. This is going to be a stronghold up in gym and bedroom. Okay, it's going to come out. Okay.
For bedroom and gym as well. This will be interesting to see how they play this. Because normally we're seeing him most notably, of course, by OC just in the last half, used much more so for the basement and the hatches that it can be used on.
Yes.
Arguably can be used just as effectively for the double wall reinforcements on the outside, though. Makes it a little bit harder for the Maverick to potentially track that down, since you can't just throw a quick thermite grenade and get rid of it anymore. So.
Well, also, if you utilize Chaos to pretty much barricade those west windows, it'll make their job extremely hard to get into gym and bedroom. So, there's a lot of uses for Castle, but Avian found out that, hey, maybe Kaid was a better pick. So far, he's been going off, so who are we to question?
Yeah, I'm curious what we're just going to see the electrical position at, just so it works usefully here for the double wall reinforcement, if that's where he's going to end up positioning it. But we'll try to follow him and see where exactly those end up going down at when the time arises for it. So right now, more than likely has to wait a little bit deeper into the round to potentially try and line that up, but here we go. Here's the first one to the back of the logistics office to deny an easy presence here. Second one is just going to position itself right up on top of the wall here, so not too hard to lock down. Just going to come down to the guys on OC locking onto that and taking it out quickly, and then they will have relatively easy access to hard breach the wall and work their way into the bedroom hall here.
With no Thatcher in play, those walls are going to be impossible to break through unless Maverick does some nice drawing with that blowtorch and forces a circle in there. He sees a kite, claw, and he knows that that's going to be a lost battle, so he's going to go ahead and rotate away from that.
Or at very minimum, he's going to work his way up here. He's trying to get in range for it, just eats I like it. Just commits.
Take one for the team.
I'm gonna eat this.
Hey,
I don't have the patience to deal with getting myself into the right position. So
he really tried it. I didn't expect that at all.
He almost found it too.
Almost.
Actually surprised he didn't manage to spot it there, but yeah, I guess not. So So not an easy lockdown just yet, but regardless, it's going to be OC that strike first in the round. Merc able to lock down Ghost and isolate him. Super looking for revenge at the top of the east stairs now. Going to take a pixel headshot angle, trying to see if he can leverage that, but he's been spotted. Will no longer be safe. They already have a pre-fire lined up on him, so it's back inside a cash room to attempt to delay OC from here instead.
Neptune's pick up his Butte Jammer, and pretty sure he knows a way better spot for that, so you can see the rotation come through, and Ash is going to go ahead and get rid of the Evil Eye. Direct counter to Maestro, one of the best defenders in the game. The LMG, the 2 Evil Eyes, he's definitely a pain for most attackers. But Ash is a great counter, but here goes the attack. You're going to have Super all by himself with Jaeger, and shots coming in from 3 different directions, and Gurmy is going to clean that up.
Tactical execution there for the guys on OC, with Gurmy being the one to snipe up the kill. Soniqs are very quickly losing players, but just as quickly as Soniqs are losing players, OC are losing time. At basically a minute a player at this point. So OC need to speed things up, need to start inching themselves closer and closer to the site if they want to have the capability to close this out. You can see them trying to utilize this position, trying to maybe even line up a few shots if anyone creeps a little bit too close to the Maverick hole. We did see a player do that. A little bit of chip damage going off onto quite a few of the members of Sonic, or actually no damage on the Soniqs. OC, they're slowly taking chip damage here. Unfortunately for OC, they're the ones that are also very quickly running out of time. Great track as well, works out for seemingly, but no, Goddess returns it. Goddess is gonna get knocked out by Gurmy, but Neptunes also shows up for the counter trade onto Gurmy himself. Art lining up the next one, Avian striking right back. It's all on Avian alone. He's got to line up, however, for the 1v3. Rack him up as he shoots them all down, and Avian comes out with a massive clutch for the Soniqs.
Avian folded him like a lawn chair. I didn't expect that. That ACOG shotgun, he went absolutely off, went huge for his team, winning a 1v3, and what more can you ask from him? Wow, I didn't expect that.
What more could you ask from his opponents as well? Barely any aim adjustment needed for the second player, if any at all. Probably could have collateral them, if that was even a possibility, but don't think that is going to happen this time. He'll take the double kill just as easily, and unfortunately, the guys on OC will have to take the attack on a different site as the Soniqs will continue to rotate around, now over to CCTV and Cash.
A site that we've definitely seen before, no mirror in play. We've seen OC struggle against that, but that's not going to be the case. But Soniqs on defense, a sight to see. We all see what guys is able to do, but the clutch is coming from 8-1. 8-1, Blue.
Jeez.
He is on
off right now.
Fire right now. He wants to make it to land, and hey, you have to start here.
This is including the rounds they've lost as well, so keeping himself alive for one of those as he attempted to go for the clutch, but more likely ran out of a possibility to do that. And then at the end of the day, still staying alive for, I believe, every single round his team has won. And if the last one is any indication, being a quintessential part of that. Nice little hiding spot for you.
That was actually pretty nice.
It's unfortunate that all that debris is like client side though, so it might be slightly more visible for some of his opponents.
Yeah.
So the mileage may vary on how effective that spawn actually is.
Goddess once again on one of those powerhouse defenders. Neptunes donning Pulse. Gonna see him a floor below, guarding this lounge area. Castle barricades are up. He's pinging players. He knows that there's 2 in front of him. But with Ash coming through, the castle barricades are going to mean absolutely nothing. Leaving Neptunes all by himself. The UMP-45 isn't a gun that you want to get into a lot of gunfights with. But Pulse, being a great intel operator. Let's see if Soniqs can go ahead and go big. He sees a heartbeat. He knows that he's rappelling up the wall. It's pinging him, letting his teammates know. He's doing his job well. They're not giving him a lot of pressure at all.
No, none at all at this point. He still has full control of the blue stairs, but it's looking like OC are just now starting to drone that out. So wasn't much aggression being weighed towards that in the early round, but that is more than likely going to change now with his position being revealed. They can start to pinch him from the outside window if the need arises for that too, and that's pretty much immediately going to force him to fall back the second they do that. However, the focus may not seem to be on this as much. It's more of a focus on the storeroom right now. I can see the Pulse has decided to fall back just to the bottom of the blue stairs there. and he's going to hold behind the big AC unit instead and wait for the clock to tick down a little bit more. Breach working its way in, however, on one of the sidewalls to allow for the members of OC to start to work their way in and start to get a little bit more second floor control. Server room has been opened up for them to attack, but of course they can't go into there because of the pending crossfire, as almost always set up here by the Soniqs. Immediately, though, 2 smokes, both of Jackals, and Jackal's really entire utility arsenal here is going to get thrown out, and they're just going to try to force the issue. They go 1 for 1 on trades. We do see a Nitro Cell getting blown down, but it's probably not going to deal that much damage, unfortunately. The 1, the wall being in the way, and 2, the misposition of the players. Ghost, though, will commit himself forward, manages to get 1 quick adjustment from Volts, and he even gets another one on top of that. Goddess is now going to have to save the day in a 1v2 situation, with the plant going down now.
If there's anybody that can do it, it's definitely Goddess. The diffuser has been planted, aiming down the sights with the ACOG. Put a pepper in a few shots as that player's going to run right into top garage. But it's going to be Maverick. Have a kill hole being spawned. But Goddess is able to turn and get the kill on Gurmy. 1v1, falls far away.
Look at this run. He's not going to make it.
No,
but she jumped off.
No, Goddess! She gets the headshot and the defuse. Goddess, you're an animal. The 1v2 outplaying everybody. Getting a diffuser, that Soniqs 1 round away. You'll love to see it.
You can see Goddess is very happy about that clutch right there as well. Crazy stuff from her. Very well-deserved celebration at the end of it in the 1v2. And the Soniqs, as you mentioned, now sitting at match point. It's a best of 1 as well. We'll enter them into the Eastern Conference playoffs for Stage 1, where we'll get to see them again in 2 weeks' time and see how exactly they're able to face off against their challenger. And if this match is any indication, the challenger may very well find itself to be OC, taking Soniqs to the wire on every single round so far here. The score doesn't necessarily represent just how close this game has been. The Soniqs always getting the clutch closeout, it seems, but OC coming so close every single time.
Back and forth. You want to call it a seesaw battle, but OC not able to capitalize on these close rounds and actually questioned it before the game even started. I said, hey, OC, they choke a lot of these closer rounds. They don't happen to win the 2v1s. They don't win the 1v1s. What's going to happen when they go against a group of solid veterans that are able to clutch any situation you throw at them? Trouble's gonna come up, but Ghost on top, 13 kills. Shout out to Marcy, the observer. This game is definitely heated up here in a later stage, and Soniqs 1 round away from going ahead to win this game, the finals here in the Eastern Conference.
1 more round away for the Soniqs, and even better, they get to go back to the basement. This is where Kaid can show up and be a whole lot more useful, especially if we see more aggressive early rolling presence and the ability to be able to pick off, say, the Maverick from the attacking squad.
I'm sorry you have to say, when you talk about some of the best anchors in the game, some of the best players, some of the players that you would trust with everything to defend a bomb site and clutch it up for your team, what are names that comes to mind? You have the Dream Redeem, you have Goddess, Brian, all the rest of them. And this shows you exactly why they are on another level than almost anybody else out there. But opening up the hatch from above, you see OC trying to be aggressive as Merc is able to get the first blood on Ghost.
Merc gonna quickly fall back to regroup with the rest of his team after being able to take out the early kill there on Ghost. Also just pop it up with the floorboards here really quickly, trying to see if a kill could be lined up. Won't be able to find that just yet, but Sonic's already starting to fall back big time and starting to hyper-focus on the insides of the site. Losing that early roam presence. Super now would be the only one to be able to hold outside of that. We've got Fultz, of course, going to be popping open the hatches. Should be just a few seconds away from drawing that circle to pop it open. Maybe just got it done now, in fact. Giannis, of course, just trying to throw some fire back here at this point. They know that they're also going to try to pop the door open, pop the wall open onto the inside of the church. And that's where things will really start to fall out of Sonic's control. Goddess again taking another duel down the long haul here. And nearly finding that headshot angle, but not able to execute on it so cleanly. The wall, however, being popped open. Not going to be the side wall leading into the church. I believe it was the hatch inside of the bar just being finished off there.
And all of Soniqs, they're going to be on their respective bomb sites. No roamers in sight. OC able to take out one of the most impactful slayers. Ghost being a victim of the first blood. Now OC, this is going to be their turn to attack with some innate flashbangs. It comes right back at him and it stalls them just momentarily. So the push Is it going to be successful at the moment? They're going to have to regroup and try once more, but God is sidestepping, taking out Gurmy. And she wants more. Aim down the sights. Avian is going to go down 3v4. But Super right behind him, he has no idea, but with the gunshot kill, he's going to go down and a trade comes through. God is once more. 2v1, Soniqs. 1 kill away from winning the finals, Blue.
Oh, a good find from Art, however. Direct hit onto Goddess to be able to take her out. Now we're down to a 1v1. Neptune versus Art, potentially to decide the game. Neptune going to sit back behind the ammo crate on the inside of the arsenal room, trying to see if he can edge him out. Art, this is just by rotating in. He's going to try and see if Neptune makes a mistake, but steps on the goo mine, gives away his position. The shot reconfirms it. Knows that he's fallen back to the corner. Obviously, the damage is what matters at this point. It's the intel. Because Neptune, they still unaware. 5 seconds left. He's got to make a play to the inside, and he walks right into Neptune's crosshairs. The Soniqs will close out 7-2 over OC, earning them the first spot in the Stage 1 Eastern Conference playoffs. A big congratulations to Soniqs. Some amazing individual play from, I think, a large majority of the roster tonight, along with some incredibly close rounds. Definitely deserving of their position, as they are now through in this week's Open Cup.
I don't know what to say. God is going absolutely off to push her team all the way to the semifinals, coming here along with Ghost. Clutch plays, great stats. Soniqs, they will be your champions, and hey, that was the game we wanted to see. Even though the score pretty much looked like a blowout, it was way closer than the stats say.
Yeah, pretty much every round coming down to like a sub 30-second or less conclusion for the most part as well. Always going down to the wire, always, really forcing our attacking teams to execute at the last second. The defenders constantly pushing the issue. The attackers constantly pushing the defenders to their limits too, pushing them to the smallest corners of defensive positioning that they could hold. Really great stuff from both teams. It was way closer than the scoreline would indicate. Ultimately came down, however, to OC just failing in the late round time after time again. And of course, the individualistics that we were constantly seeing from the side of the Soniqs too.
It was absolutely incredible. This is actually my first time ever casting Rainbow Six Siege, and having the honor to go ahead and cast gameplay like this. Avian with the clutch with Kaid, and God is going absolutely off. This is what you love to see. High octane Rainbow Six Siege action, and it felt like it went down to the wire. But nonetheless, I want to give a congrats to all the teams that even made it this far. But Soniqs, they're going to be the one that go ahead and win it all today. And hopefully we see some more of these guys this weekend in the qualifiers.
Yep, but of course for all the teams that didn't make it all the way through the bracket here, even including the OC themselves, there's a very good opportunity that we're probably going to see them through this weekend through our community casters channels, and potentially next Thursday as well when we cover the eastern side of the conference once again. Cover the western conference as well on Tuesdays, guys, where we saw earlier Rogue and Reciprocity taking each other on for the title there. One of them coming out on top, pushing them through and earning the western slot earlier this week. Let's take a look at the results for today's matches, though, as sadly we have come to a close. The Soniqs taking a 7-1 victory over Peak Everything. Our very close and very exciting 7-4 victory for OC over Dream Chasers, and of course the incredibly riveting match that we just had between the Soniqs and OC, which did ultimately go into the Soniqs' favor, pushing them into the Stage 1 Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes, so it was Reciprocity that won Tuesday, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
So Reciprocity winning, you have Soniqs winning today. Things are starting to heat up here, the U.S. Nationals, and with Soniqs going 14-3 between 2 maps, it's showing you that the level of competition has definitely risen here at the U.S. Nationals, and I can't wait for this Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have more action going on, ladies and gentlemen, but that does do it for today. So be sure to join us next week here, next Tuesday and Thursday at the same time, where we're going to claim one more West and one more Eastern team into our conference playoffs, which will take us to the conference playoffs themselves, which we'll be having 2 weeks from now to see which of our 2 teams from each conference will earn their land spots bright and early at the beginning of the season and as we close out Stage 1. That'll close out the broadcast for today, though, ladies and gentlemen, from Veli and myself. We hope you have a great rest of your evening or morning if you're watching us here from Europe like we are. Good night and have a good one.